was told I needed to give up coffee. I'm having a really hard time with it because I really love the coffee. It gets me all hyped up. It gets me looking forward to what's coming into the future. But sometimes, you know, when we look at what's going on with this country, especially with the recent elections, I am just full of despair. I mean, it's just horrible. I just don't know what happened with this recent election. And sometimes I think, you know, what I really wish I could do is just suck the nose of a friend. I mean, that would be better than what I'm facing. I mean, it's just horrible out there. I think I pushed the wrong button. Funny you should mention technology, because when I think about navigating the new, for me it's all about technology. I am a technology consultant, in case any of you didn't know, and I have business cards here if anybody would. But anyway, you know, the picture on the left there is the guy that did not introduce RFID. And that was a really bad situation because they're like scanning books and handling stuff, and then the guy on the right, that's the guy who installed RFID. Because it just didn't go as planned. I'm not saying that I know everything about it, but you could hire me. It could, yeah. There's no way to know everything about RFID, okay? I mean, you know, you might have a memory error, you might think you know everything and then it changes, but I try to read the book if I can. Sometimes I read them several times over and, you know, this message comes up. But I have short-term memory loss because of the menopause thing. So this error comes up quite frequently. This error comes up quite frequently. Enough to have come from the Midwest. I have a great relationship with my brother, and we put this slide together. I'm the X, he's the Y, and together we've come together, we've put together some really great shit ideas. That's what, again, if you want to hire me, I've got some great shit ideas. Luckily, I store all of my shit ideas on this hard drive. I could get you a much better price on that. Oh my God! I was wondering where my first Motorola 550 cell phone went. This is so awesome. Does anybody else have one of those? You know how you can take your electronics and you can donate them to places? Well, my Motorola 550, I don't know if you remember it, it's the big gray one and it had the flip down. And it was back when we still talked about car phones, remember? So this was a car phone, not a cell phone or a mobile phone, but it's good to know. It's found a safe, happy resting place. Yeah. This is another picture of my brother and me. He's a pretty, you know, beefy kind of guy, and like I said, he comes up with the shit ideas, so he doesn't need the big, you know, brainiac kind of thing like I do, coming up with the other things. Replaced by actually, this picture, you think this is a picture of a robot in the front, which coincidentally, I don't mean to keep talking about my brother, but he is in the robotics industry, and this could be where this picture came from, but actually what I was taking a picture of here is the meat market. If you have never had Bloor meat, you've got to try it. It is so good. It's
famous and fabulous colleague Annie Hasbeck took one day. I said, could you get me a little shot for my Facebook? She said, sure, here you go. Here it is. Success, okay, yes. Success sometimes is still a failure. Just finished a book by the name of The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Anyone else read it? Fabulous little book, and it talks about how we have all this something called the upper limit problem. And this is a true story. I just finished this book. And it basically says anytime we think we're doing all right with life, we figure out a way to cuss it up. You know what I'm saying? We decide that we're going to make it wrong. It's still a failure, so we decide that we're going to just make it wrong. I'm a school librarian, by the way. Unlike the public librarian, I can't really. I'm still but I have to be sort of careful about that. Okay, this is our life, Annie. This is our life. I can totally speak to this one because we do allow food in our library. We just said, whatever, here's some wipes, figure it out. Occasionally, once in a while, there'll be a problem, but really then what the kids do, they're just like, I can't believe you just did that in the library. I can't believe you just did that in the library. Clean that up. So they clean each other up, and they take care of business, and once in a while, we'll have to come out and we'll say, listen, this is a true story, this is something that happened in our library. I'll come up and I'll say, guys, the only rule about the food is you can't bring something that you can't control. If you can't get it from the baggie to your mom, you can't bring it in. And then he said, the kid looks at his friend, he's like, yeah, dude, control the nut. It's like, that's what else is there to say? Control the nut. No, you don't know. Okay, I'm going to speak to this one too. Okay, so my son is 11. We had this conversation, and how the sex conversation's been going, it's been going like this. It's been going, okay now, and it is. It's just like a bar, imagining something being downloaded. It's like, okay, so now here's what happens. People get to know each other, they start to like each other, and then all of a sudden he's like, that's enough for today. And then I'll be like, okay, well, and then he's like, wait, I have this little question for you, Mom. And I'm like, okay, so here we go. And then, yeah, sometimes they go out to dinner, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And then they go home, and sometimes, oh, that's it for today. And then I go home, and then the next thing you know, he knows it all. He's 11 years old, and I feel like a total success. Okay, someone's calling themselves a customer success. Yeah, I'm one of those people that still reads aloud. Yeah, when I'm reading something now. I mean, my lips move. Isn't that awful? Something called service. There are days, have you been, how many people, I mean, I'm adding up the collective wisdom in this room, and I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe 500, 600 years of library service here, 700, 800, I don't know. Anyway, what we have is, you know, I love the keynote when she said, I serve freaks for a living. I thought that was a great line from this morning. But sometimes Annie and I, we just aren't quite up to it. So what we do is we have this magic superhero dance that we do for each other. Maybe one is not feeling so good, and then we see our famous patron, Ed, coming up, and he needs his favorite book, and I just say, pew, pew, this one, honey. And then I take Ed, and the next day, up comes, sorry, Anthony Ryder, or another, see, fail. Now, another child will come up. This is why I can't have anything online. Okay, this piece will not be televised. And then we pretty much act like superheroes. We protect each other. We have this thing called the shield. It's kind of like, who's seen Better Off Ted? The happiness, like, what are you doing? Oh, that's my happiness shield, so I can stop all your whining. Okay, the future was. Okay, so we were outside in the green room, all of us famous contestants, and we decided that we were talking about Web 2.0, Web 3.0, and then Web 1.0. And I think that the most exciting thing going these days, in my own opinion, is a pad and paper, and maybe a book. Complain. Let's just say we drink a lot of tea. A lot of tea. We'll be in the back, and we'll be back when we're ready. Okay, so
Giles! Woo!
I know that you made this one just for me, because this one here is, this is a story of my conference. Nobody has any way of knowing this, but this is just exactly what, no. I think that
Time!
Somebody found an old Facebook picture of mine. How thematically appropriate. Everything old is new again, at least pirates. Okay. We're living in a two-dimensional world now. We need to get used to the new world that has two dimensions and really sloppy coloring. Okay? Now with working Xerox machine. Good. They're progressing. We're proud. This is the education president. I like it. Learn, or else. Learn at the point of a gun. This is what some of my staff members out there do. I'm the education director. I think that's an excellent slide.
That's awesome.
What are we teaching the children? Do we have any children here? Anyone at 18? Oh, yeah, right. No, I'm afraid not. But here at conference, he's learning how to be Nancy Pearl. When you're navigating a new conference, you need to understand that according to the authority of a mystery book I read once, everyone who goes to conferences, doesn't matter if you're a dentist, or a sex therapist, or a librarian, you all want the same thing. And it isn't food. It's to get drunk and get that thing that happens to the egg when it's born. This makes some people very upset. And this is the theme of a lot of library presentations too, isn't it? The end is near. It must be 30 years now that I've been hearing the end of libraries is near. If you don't get out there and advertise your internet guide to internet book, you will be doomed. Zombarians are rising. Well, this happened. You may not know this, but in 2007, those librarians that did a little too much of the other thing, but still had to go see the state librarian at breakfast at 7 in the morning. Because you know those people give out money, and then you know your bright smiling face better be there. There was no coffee. The Zombarians were rising. This is why there is no morning state librarian breakfast anymore. You will. Well, this goes with our pirate theme out there, right? You will pry my library card from my cold, dead hands. Sometimes we have to with some of the patrons in our library.